Hey visionaries, Charles Lawman here with Rural Realty Group. Whether you're an investor, a first-time home buyer, or an agent looking for a team, our goal here is to help you attain wealth using real estate. Follow us on all social media platforms at Rural Realty Group TX. Now enjoy the show with Cup and Mo.
Well, I would say this right out the gate. I'm happy I'm smoking tonight.
So let's go ahead and get this party started by letting everybody know that you ain't shit. You ain't shit because I am in a situation where I can't smoke. All right. And that bothers the hell out of me. But best believe I'm about to go against fire codes and everything, trying to light one up with you. But you ain't shit. You ain't shit.
What did it say, Mo? You ain't shit. Your daddy wasn't shit. You ain't shit. You ain't never gonna be shit.
I didn't say all that. I'm just saying you ain't shit for smoking in front. Look at you. You just gonna.
Hey, and you know what? And it's an agnosia.
I didn't ask you that. You know what? I'm just failing all the way around. My light done went out. My light done went out. Hold on.
We still see you.
Yeah, I'm light enough so you can see me, right? Okay. Well, it is what it is. Let me just move. God almighty. Okay. I'm listening. Go ahead.
We are fired up and ready to go. Got your bedspread showing all on the camera for the viewers. What up, visionaries? It's your boy Cuff with the VisionLab podcast. Yo, we are in for a treat. Uncle Mo, who we got on the show today?
Man, Cuff, we've been trying to lock this down for about for a good 6 weeks now. We'll talk about that as we open up the interview. She comes to us, and she's highly recommended by our good friend Goldie. She is a Jane of all trades, if you will. Obviously, she's upset she's not smoking right now because she's in some nondescript hotel in California. But please welcome Seven Defined, or can I say your government name for one time? Can I do that?
They'll need to know all that. They'll need to know all that. Yeah. They'll need to know all that.
She got people looking for her.
Please welcome Seven.
There's a reason why I got all these names. There's a reason why I got all these names.
Yo, we are.
Y'all doing too much.
Listen, this is nothing but energy right now. To all visionaries that are tuning in, listen, we are going straight off the cuff and just gonna vibe out, man. Seven, we are happy to have you on the show. What's happening?
Nothing at all. I'm chilling in beautiful San Diego, California, where I can't smoke in the hotel that I'm at. So I get to do a cigar podcast, not smoking, and you just gonna smoke an Aganorsa in front of me.
Well, I think we've had this plan for a while. No?
I understand that, but again, we reschedule, and
I just was trying to be accommodating. I mean, like you said, what's it look like? We have a cigar podcast, and I'm not even smoking. But I respect it. Listen, you're on your hustle. You're out there getting it done. Feet to the pavement, making it happen. So we do appreciate you jumping in with us.
I appreciate y'all for making time for me as well.
So first question out the gate, right? So obviously we share a common friend and our good friend and our good buddy Goldie. How did you meet Goldie?
So Goldie was someone that during Charlotte Cigar Week last year, I reached out and asked if, about the ambassador situation. And he let me know that at that point they had all the ambassadors he needed. So I was like, well, fuck you then. And then next year came around and I was just like, what you talking about? And he was just like, would you like to be an ambassador? I was like, yeah. So now I'm on the Charlotte Cigar Week team as an ambassador. I don't tell him I said this, but he's a really good guy. Goldie is his alter alter ego. I'm not sure if you know that or not. So when you said golden, I'm
Oh
like,
yeah,
that's dangerous
know.
because
We know.
okay, yeah. So Damon, as other folks know him as, that's who we're referring to. And I don't know if I was supposed to say that or not, but I just did.
Damon?
So Damon, am I not supposed to say that? Was I
No,
not
you
supposed to?
good.
Can you edit that out?
No, we're
I
good.
said it.
Good.
Damn it, I said it. Yes, I said it. Yeah, I said it. But anyway,
So what is an ambassador? For those that are, that don't know, what is an ambassador's role? What do they do for Charlotte Cigar Week or any cigar week for that matter?
we are just the face of that event. I mean, we help market the event. We try to bring people in and let them know that they're about to have a good damn time. So we really just work together as a team to promote the event. And last year was the first year. This is actually the first official year of this Charlotte Cigar Week. It was something else last year. Anyway,
Yep.
But this will be our first official year. So we're really looking forward to it. And if you've not looked at the events are amazing. The VIP tickets obviously sold out, but there's still events open to the public. That it's going to be an amazing event. So if you have not attended or haven't got your VIP tickets, you still can attend. So just putting a plug in there. I'm just saying, you asked me. So
Yeah, no, that's what it's about. We want to
Wow.
promote it. Yeah, we definitely want to promote it. When is Charlotte Cigar Week?
April 26th to May the 1st.
All right, people, visionaries, if you're tuning in, you got a couple of weeks to get out there to Charlotte, get your tickets, get your VIP tickets. Make sure you holler at 7.
Didn't I just say the VIP tickets were sold out? Didn't I just say that?
Okay, well, it's too late to get the VIP tickets, but you can still get out there to Charlotte and holler at 7, and she's going to give you a lot of shit because that's what she does.
Yes, my joy comes from being a complete asshole. So thank you.
No problem at all. All right, so now we're gonna really get into who 7 is, right? So you're from just outside of Atlanta, Georgia. Obviously, you're residing in Charlotte, like you're in California right now. But
Don't reside in Charlotte.
I thought you did live in Charlotte.
Well, you thought wrong. I live in Raleigh, North Carolina.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I forgot. Excuse me. How far is Raleigh from Charlotte?
About 2.5 hours.
Oh, that's nothing in Texas time. You'll be fine. You are easily one of the coolest personalities, especially in our feed on a daily basis when it comes to the cigar culture and Instagram and so on and so forth. And you occupy a very special place when it comes to women in the industry, if you will. From your standpoint, what is like one of the marks that you're trying to leave when it comes to the content you produced, whether it's the reels, the pictures, your involvement in events like Charlotte Cigar Week? Like, what's the mark that you're trying to make?
The mark that I'm trying to make is one that is really not intended. It's not really intentional. My page really started off as me just having my moments and my experiences smoking a cigar, and it just kind of fumbled into what it is right now. And I don't mind it at all. And I appreciate the compliment. And that's very sincere, Mo, because we have that love-hate relationship. I'm just saying that's really sincere. Anyway.
All good.
Okay. But if I wanted to be intentional about my page, I really want people to understand that me smoking as a woman cigar smoker isn't it has nothing to do with attention. I don't care about comments. Obviously an attractive woman smoking a cigar does something for the opposite sex. I mean, you guys are visual creatures. I get that. It's a given. I don't think there's any harm in that. Now there's some women that take it a step further and that are attention seekers, and I'm not, judging anyone, but there's a difference, right? But what I do as far as smoking cigars, if I post anything, I'm having a moment, especially when it comes to my videos. It's a moment for me. And most of the time I do the slow-mo because when I smoke it, to me, the experience feels like a slow motion experience. It is an experience for me. I have dove into a lot of YouTubes, and I drink a lot of books. I read a lot of books about cigars, and I really tried to educate myself because I feel like there's two type of smokers. There's the folks that smoke just to smoke, and they really don't have any knowledge about what they're doing. Because the culture is a cool culture. It's how I started. And then there's folks that smoke to truly be a part of that experience, who really understand the cigar and can respect the fact that there's a lot that goes into a construction of a cigar, and the blends make a difference. And you have your cigars that you like and you don't like, and you have a palette for different blends. I mean, there's just so much that goes into it. But that's where I come in. I really want people to understand that what I do is not for the look of it, it's for the experience.
As a woman cigar smoker, do you find yourself trying to help educate men on, hey, just because I'm a woman doesn't mean I don't know what the hell I'm doing when I'm smoking a cigar? Do you find yourself pushing the ball forward for other women smokers?
So I actually did a cigar etiquette class. It's like a cigar 101 at Lux Cigar Lounge in Charleston, South Carolina. And I'm opening to do that because I think education is key with anything you do. You want to understand what it is you're doing. When it comes to a man and cigar etiquette, if I'm in a cigar lounge and I see somebody doing something, maybe taking the cigar and putting the cigar out like a cigarette, obviously that creates a bitter smell, and it's not pleasing to anyone that knows anything about a cigar, and maybe not paying attention. Or if I see them, cooking the cigar instead of toasting it. I mean, you want to correct them, but at the same time, there's a fine line there as far as etiquette goes, especially, and I'm going to say especially for a man, and maybe sometimes for a woman, because there's this thing where men don't want to be told how to properly do something. Now, if the situation seems like I am open to say, hey, you're cooking your cigar, you're supposed to toast it, not cook it. Then yeah, I might say something if it seems like it'll be well received. But in a situation like that, yeah. But in other situations, no, I don't say anything.
Well, what about for women, right? That maybe, whether or not if they're new to smoking or not, or do you find yourself trying to educate them on how they should toast their cigar and how, not put it out and things along that nature?
Again, if I feel like it's a comfortable situation, it will be well received if I know that person. And to me, energy is big. Like I can be in someone's presence and maybe you can too, but you can kind of feel the energy. Women tend to be catty in nature. You know what I'm saying? So you don't want to push the envelope with some women that you say, okay, she's really checking me out. Obviously, she feels a certain way about me. I'm just going to leave that alone. But if it's someone that I'm having a casual conversation with and the energy is good energy, I might say, hey, by the way, the reason why your cigar keeps going out is because, something like that.
When is your favorite time to smoke a cigar, right? Like we've all got, everyone has that, a long work day or clients being a pain in the neck or whatnot. But like, what's the ideal situation for Seven?
My ideal situation is when and if I'm home. I have a huge country porch. I like to eat a little breakfast, something light, get me a nice mild to medium cigar, maybe an Avo Heritage or something, get me a nice cup of Cuban espresso, hit the porch with my music in the morning with my coffee, watch everybody go by on a beautiful spring day. That to me is just because I'm starting my day, and to me it's meditation. So at that point I'm on my porch vibing to my music and smoking my cigar and not a care in the world.
So you're on that Cuban jet fuel.
Yes, I am. And I drink it by the cup and not the shot. Like some people do like shots of Cuban espresso. I actually order the beans, grind the beans. I have an espresso maker, make it a cup, no cream, no sugar. I'm all about it. That's how I roll, son. You know what I'm saying? That's what I do.
So Seven,
Probably what's wrong with me.
Let me ask you this, Seven. How much has the cigar culture changed with more and more women now smoking?
The change has really increased with time, and especially with social media, events, and I think so I really didn't pay attention for a long time because I really didn't smoke in lounges. I would smoke at home. But then when I started frequenting lounges, I did notice an influx in female smokers. Again, I only go to a couple lounges on a regular basis. Now, if I'm out of town, obviously I like to visit lounges, but it doesn't seem like there's a big crowd of women in the ones that I've been into lately. But I think there's been quite the influx of female smokers. And again, you have two types of smokers: those that just smoke to be smoking, to wear the hat and the dress and the heels, and you know what I'm saying? And then the ones that truly understand the culture. And no judgment, I'm just saying, you do you.
Who introduced you to cigars, Seven?
I did. So I was actually, it was a few years ago, I was on a trip to the Bahamas, and I was sitting there at a restaurant, and I had a lot going on in my life. Just coming out of a relationship and, you know, just trying to, it was a getaway for me. And I was sitting there eating, and I was looking across the street at a little tiny hole in the wall where these people were out just smoking. And I'm like, man, they look like they got it all figured out. They're not dressed to the nines or anything, but they're out there just vibing, and they're just chilling and enjoying the day. I'm like, how can I, you know, what can I do? I said, damn, I'm gonna smoke a cigar. I got so damn sick. I knew nothing about what I was doing. Again, I wanted to replicate what they were doing, and I wanted to feel what they were feeling. So I went, got a cigar, went and smoked it. I was actually on a cruise boat with my daughters, and I smoked the cigar, and I'm inhaling. I'm saying, I'm be a drag, and I want to come out my nose, and I ain't know nothing about retrohaling, so I'm swallowing it. It's like, you talking about a bad day? You talking about a bad damn day? I was so sick. I was sick as a dog. So at that point, some time went by, and I was just like, I really want to know what I did wrong. I can't stand when I'm not able, you know what, when I'm not able to do something successfully. So that's when I started reading about cigars and learning that, hey, you don't inhale. You don't ever inhale. And then I started learning, and again, smoking. And I started with the flavor infused cigars, as most do. And then someone says, you need to put that away. You really want to experience the different blends, move on to other cigars. So I did. And then from there, I learned how to retrohale. And I was just like, it's a whole freaking different experience when you can really take in those notes in the cigar by retrohaling. So now it's just like, you know, it's just different for me. So it has definitely been a process for me to get to the point that I'm at and appreciate it for what it really is. Rough start.
I've heard you mention several times energy. How important is energy, vibing, and like getting on the right frequency with those that are around you, or more importantly, with yourself?
So I've definitely had a journey. My journey has been filled with a lot of ups and downs, more downs than ups. I really truly feel like I'm a survivor in a lot of different ways. Energy to me, finding out who I am and becoming the woman that I am, and truly loving myself and becoming one with my peace and my happiness has been so important to me. And then to combine that with my experience of a cigar, and that become my meditation, and really kind of bind my whole life into one peaceful realm has been amazing. So when it comes to energy, my own energy, I'm the type person, I'm very outgoing, but at the same time, I like to be in my own space. I don't like to be in a lot of crowds. I am part of GTG, and I have a lot of cigar friends in Raleigh and, you know, other places that I've done events. But my energy is it's pretty independent. I don't feel like I love my peace and I love my space. Put it like that. I'm not antisocial. I'm definitely socially selective in the people that I hang around. So the people in my GTG group and other folks that I really fuck with, as they say, are people that have pretty much the same energy. They understand the cigar culture. They are smoking because that again is their meditation too. But energy to me is so important, because I don't vibe with funky energy. I don't like catty people. I don't smoke to prove anything. I don't smoke for attention. I'm a woman that knows what she wants. I do what I want within legal reason, of course. which is why I didn't lie with you here in this hotel, because you guys are trying to get me evicted. But I do try to make the best choices possible. Again, I've been through it to the point where I have come head on with my piece, and I'm definitely enjoying it. Definitely enjoying it.
You know, right now there's a lot of talk about protecting your energy, and you've talked a lot about that, right? What's your advice to any of the visionaries that are tuning in that may be struggling with, uh, folks that are invading their energy, or what I like to call energy vampires, right? That are taking the life out of you. What is your advice to someone that needs to protect their energy?
Protecting your energy first starts with you. You have to have the right energy to protect the energy that you're protecting, if that makes sense. To me, it all starts with you knowing who you are, knowing your worth, and not from a cocky standpoint, but being confident in who you are and knowing what you stand for. Protecting your energy is you basically saying, this is who I am, this is what I stand for, and anything that comes against my energy. So I'm a huge protector of my energy, to the point that if someone comes and let's say I'm dating, so I'm currently in a relationship, it's fairly new. But when someone comes along and they say something that I don't like, or do something that I don't like, or I'm watching them and they just move different, yeah, I'm good on that. Flag on the play, keep it moving, bro. It's just like I don't entertain it. Protecting your energy is knowing that you are the one that allows and disallows that energy in your space. You have control over what you allow. You can't control anything about anybody else, but you can control you. So what you allow, and you can't even blame someone for giving you funky energy and get mad at them for the energy that they're giving, because you allow it. It is your space. You have control over that. So I say, learn to be accountable for your actions and control what you can control. You can't control funky energy that's coming from a different person, but you can control how far they come to you.
That's beautiful. And I completely agree with you. I think it's, I use the word standards. Like I have a specific standard. And if, that energy, that vibe isn't there, like you said, I'm good, bro. It's, we can keep it moving. Wish you the best, handle your business,
Right.
whatever it is. But
You
I
got to establish
know
those boundaries.
right. But someone that's struggling with, dealing with not knowing their value for a long time, right? Coming out of broken relationships, or being in a broken relationship, it's one thing to talk about it and see the memes and see the videos and all these encouraging words, but until you self-internalize the fact that you have value, the fact that you're worth something, you have to take that self-inventory on who you are, so that you can be the best version of yourself. So I think that's dope.
Absolutely. So in going back to that, it's all these people that are coming from broken relationships. You gotta understand that everything has been redefined. Love has been redefined. Sex has been redefined. Marriage has been redefined. This culture is just completely broken. So you have to go back to the roots of how God, and I hate to bring it into it, but how God defines love, and, really finding a good foundation to base what you want love to look like. Because if you want it to look like what it culturally looks like today, it's already broke. Like, you're looking at something that can't take you far at all. But and knowing that if you're in a broken relationship, you cannot control or change anyone but yourself. A lot of people get so upset because, oh, he won't act right, he won't do this. And, it really doesn't matter what he or she knows to do. What matters is you asking yourself, okay, I'm in this situation, he's acting a certain way. What can I do to make myself better? Because at the end of the day, that's the only thing you can do.
There was a post probably a couple of years ago. It actually kind of resurfaced recently, at least in on my personal feed. And it was Will Smith and Jada Pinkett Smith, right? And it's a shot of them on the beach or by the ocean or whatever. And he's talking about, hey, listen, I do not control Jada's happiness, and she doesn't control mine. I create my own happiness. She creates her own happiness, and we hope to bring our happiness together. And I think that for me, like, that was huge, right? Whether you're in a relationship or not in a relationship, it starts with you. Ultimately, you have to take control of your own energy, of the energy that you're allowing into your life. And you set your own standard for what you're going to tolerate and what you're going to accept and what ultimately makes you happy. Because at the end of the day, You're responsible for your own happiness. 7 can't say or do anything to me. Mo can't say or do anything to me that's going to affect or impact where I'm at on my mental state. So that's really good, 7, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. You have to stand strong and be able to stand strong in who you are and know that everyone is an individual. So I can respect what was said, and I believe I saw that what Will and Jada kind of bring into motion, because it's like, you are, at the end of the day, you are individuals. You're not accountable for that person's happiness, and that person's not accountable for yours. You have to have your happy place and know that your job is to make that other person happy. But if it's received, it's received. If it's not, it's not. At the end of the day, you have to be happy for yourself. And then you guys come together to be happy together. But it's still separate. You guys are just coming together. Some people talk about my better half, or I'm not complete, or you complete me. No, you complete you. You complete you. And people have to understand it does ultimately start with you.
Now, fair question here. Did that post come
Yeah.
out before or after we started hearing about the word entanglements?
I knew it. I knew it. I knew you were gonna bring him in. Man, let that lay down and be the
Okay,
best.
I'll let that lay down. But she made a great point in regards
Sign
to like
shit.
things.
Yeah.
I'm just
why you-
saying, man, hey, it is what it is, what it is, right? Like
We had a beautiful moment just
see,
then. It was just-
see, to your point though, 7, like you said, like we're in this age now where everything's being redefined, and I don't think it's being quote unquote redefined. I just think that we've got to a place as far as society or culture, whatever you want to use, to where we've just found ways to justify our BS and try to stand on it. Versus, a generation before us, like, no, wrong is wrong and right is right. And now we're just in a
Absolutely.
space where everyone, I'm living my truth, or we've all found a way to justify something that we probably know in our heart of hearts ain't necessarily the right thing to be doing.
That's right. Where it's like giving yourself permission to be an asshole or to fuck up somebody's life, or yeah, absolutely.
Well, and I honestly, I think this is a good point, Mo. Like I have a problem with that on how things are redefined. Mo, I'm very nostalgic, right? I respect, from a biblical perspective, as a man of faith, like I respect the core tenets of the Bible. You know what I mean? And so I do have my own personal hangups and issues with the way we are really functioning as a modern day Sodom and Gomorrah, right? I understand that's the culture, this, that, and the third, but it makes my spirit uneasy knowing all this, and knowing that we have kids that are being raised in this type of environment. And so I don't want to accept that, right? I don't want to accept that, oh, that's just the way it is. No, like, we need to do better. I want better for myself. I want better for my kids, so on and so forth, right? But it's a struggle that I constantly am battling with when I'm seeing what's going on the news or social media or whatever. And we're not going to go down, liberal rights and all this other stuff, but it's a battle. Like, do you guys have those mental battles with yourself?
So I'm going to say no, because I actually try very hard to separate myself from the world. And some people say that's not good. You need to know what's going on. And I kind of do, but at the same time, it just fucks up my energy. It's like watching the news is so damn depressing. I'm so sick of everything that's going on in this world. So in order for me to keep my peace, because I'm an empath at the same time, so everything I see that bothers someone, or someone's crying, I absorb it, and I become that emotion. So I actually have to kind of shut myself out from the world just so I can have my peace, because there's so much bullshit going on in the world that I don't want to have to consume that as a part of my daily activity. Turning on the news to see a war here, or this is going on, or, it's just it's so depressing. And so in order for me to protect my peace, I separate myself from the shit that's going on. It's bad, but that's how I keep my peace.
From my perspective, I don't find that it's a battle. I don't necessarily immerse myself in it, but I'm very aware because, I'm raising a little person over here. And so I want to try to be as prepared as possible for what it is that she may or may not encounter. And I don't want her to get out in the world one day when I'm not around, or, whenever I'm no longer here. I want her to try to be as prepared as possible. So, at one point it's like, okay, you want to protect them from everything, but at the same time, like, you can't do that. And so I want to try to make sure that she is armed with as much useful, and there's a big difference, useful information as possible. And so like I definitely understand where you're coming from, Seven, in regards to the empath stuff, because there are some things you see like, man, like that is just on multiple levels, it's just terrible, right? Like, so we got a war going on, and
Right.
it's a hot mess. But I try to make sure that I'm aware of what's going on, so that way I'm not shocked when I'm out in public, or when something arises to where like I'm not behind the curve, if you will.
Yeah. I
So
mean, I feel like, yeah, you're right.
let me paint this picture for you and give you a scenario. And I believe it's Florida, so if I'm wrong, y'all call me out. But I believe a couple of months ago, Florida passed a law that allows transgender people to go into whatever bathroom they choose to go in, right? So now, as a parent, right, I don't want to necessarily have that conversation with the 2-year-old on why this individual is coming in. I'm not trying to stomp or hate on anybody's rights, but you're also infringing upon my right to raise my child in the way that I see fit. You know what I mean? And that's what I'm talking about, kind of dealing with that struggle, or knowing that, and it sounds, glorifying to have 8, 9 different women or 8, 9 different men or whatever your thing is, but I'm not into polyamory. You know what I mean? And
Right.
I really don't want my kids learning about that or knowing about that. And that's kind of what I'm talking about when I say the struggle, because I don't fuck with the news. I don't watch it. It's too much negativity and too much drama that goes on. It's all sensationalized, and I mean, that stuff has been going on since forever, since the news came out, right? All they want to do is hit you with the highlights of everything that's negative. But those are kind of some of the things that I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Well,
It's
you
really
use
hard to
Florida though.
protect your children.
You use Florida. That's a bad example. Florida's like a different country. It just happens to be attached to the United States, because on one hand, you can go into different bathrooms as a transgender, but they also just passed a law that says that teachers can't use the word gay in school. So Florida's just confused all the way around. We just won't. We'll just move past Florida. That's a bad example, but I get your point, Cuff.
Edwina Brown here, owner operator of Blowing Smoke Cigar Lounge. We're located at 1604 North Interstate 35E in Lancaster, Texas. We would love for you to come see us. We stand on the 3 C's, which are cigars, our community, and our culture. Cigars, we have over 300 SKUs in our humidor, and it's still growing. Come check it out, a massive humidor. We also love our culture here, which we're about customer service, as well as community, which is why we're excited to partner with the TheVisionLab podcast. So come check us out.
So allow me to switch gears, right? So we are in the middle of a month that is honoring women on multiple levels. I mean, like you said, you've been through plenty of ups and downs. I think you said more downs than ups at this point. If there is a nugget of advice or a piece of wisdom, if you will, that you could give to any woman out there who may be going through something, right? Whether it's, something professionally, personally, whatever it might be. From your perspective, what would be that nugget that you would give them?
Know that they were created, and this is not just for women, and I know we're talking women, but okay, let's this is just a women. To know that they are wonderfully and beautifully made. That they have purpose. I mean, you have to be able to wake up and tell yourself positive things about yourself, even when you don't want to. So I had a conversation today with someone about, it's so easy to find the negative in life. Whenever you find a negative, follow it up with 5 positives. I don't care what those negatives are and how bad it is. There's always a positive somewhere. And I'm being pretty extreme, but if you're in line at Walmart, let's say a store, and that line is really long and you have somewhere to be and you don't feel like being in line, that's a negative, obviously, thought. Thank God for the legs you have to stay in that line. You know what I'm saying? Thank God for the money that you have to pay for those items that you're standing in line for. I mean, you got to get to a place where you get rid of the negative and make it a positive. For if women are going through things, or people are going through things in life that completely put you down. And again, I am a survivor, and I'm trying not to go down the details of why I am. Maybe it's a whole different podcast, but I'm definitely a survivor of a lot of different things in my life. And me getting to the point to say, None of this happened to me for no reason. Sometimes God puts you, and I hate to come from that because I'm a spiritual person, but sometimes God puts you in a valley. So you have to deal with yourself. And at that point, if you don't deal with yourself, you stay in that valley a little bit longer until you do. So if you're in that
Come on now.
valley and you're in a dark place, you really have to get to a point where you say, I'm tired of being in this valley. What do I need to do? It all starts with you and the way you're thinking. Stop telling yourself what you can't do, what you won't do, how bad it is or how hard it is. You've got to get yourself in a good place to say, I got this. God didn't put me here for me to fail. You have what you need to succeed. I mean, in a nutshell.
Yo,
Let me get up the soapbox. Come on
now.
now.
No. You better get back on the soapbox. Those are bars, straight gems. Now, obviously, like you said, you've been through a number of different things. You've had the experiences that you can leverage and you can lean on and draw from and say, you know what, Seven, you got this, whatever, that situation is. But to someone that's in it, like, coach them up. What are you telling them? That's sage advice when it comes to figure out 5 positive things when you have a negative thing that comes into play. Are you doing those type of things in your actual day-to-day?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
And what are some other things? And like you said, it's not just, extended to just women. I mean, men need to do this too. We've done this podcast for a long time and we hear about self-speak and the value of that. We hear about journaling, we hear about meditation, we hear about exercising and doing all the things. But is there anything else that people don't think about that maybe they should be doing?
Self-care, really loving yourself, falling in love with yourself, truly falling in love with yourself. I do it every day. I know that I'm worth things that I do for myself. I spend X amount of money on certain things that I like to do. Cigars, for one. They love to see me come in at a damn cigar cigar store because they know I'm going to spend a lot of damn money in there. But I do it because that's my self-care. I know that's my pleasure. I'm not going to say guilty pleasure because I'm not guilty about it at all. But self-care is everything. Doing things to make you feel loved. I mean, and people get upset. Valentine's Day, nobody sent me flowers. Send yourself some damn flowers. Do it for yourself. Love yourself. Schedule a massage or get your nails done or get a facial. Do something to make yourself feel good. Love yourself. Don't wait on someone to fall in love with you. When you love yourself, it's so much easier because someone's going to see you in love with yourself and they're going to say, man, her confidence, she just exudes a certain confidence that people gravitate to, or maybe they don't. Some people say, so when I come into a cigar lounge, usually I'm by myself. I'll sit somewhere in a remote spot and I'll put my AirPods in and I'll be on my phone because I don't try to make eye contact. I'm not there. It's not a meat market for me. I don't want attention. I'm there to vibe, smoke my cigar. But when I'm in there, people say, oh, you very intimidating. People ain't gonna know I'm not intimidated. You're intimidated by me is a big difference. You know what I'm saying? I'm in there just smoking my cigar. But I say that because sometimes that confidence comes off a little bit different. Some people say I'm standoffish. No, I'm not standoffish. I'm just in my space. I'm doing my thing just because I'm not like, hey, how you doing? Now, if you speak to me, I will be like, hey, how you doing? Because I'm a very outgoing, friendly person. Or I'll be like, can I help you? If, it's just, I'm in that space. So if it's someone that I see that it's staring and just decides to come over, that's a whole different story. But I tackle it as I need to. But being confident in who you are and loving yourself and really taking the time to fall in love with yourself. I'm a big book reader. I've read so many books when it comes to self-care and spirituality. And I know what God says about me. And if he says it, I believe it. I believe it.
What books have you read this year already, Seven?
What books have I read this year? Well, the Cigar book, volume 4. I've read that one. There's another one, and they're by, I can't remember the author, but he's written a lot of different books. I have to get back to you on that one. I can't remember his name. It's on the tip of my tongue. But he writes a lot of spiritual books that are very easy to read, very relatable. One is called, I can't remember what it's called. You would ask me that and I wouldn't know any damn book that I just read.
Well, you touched a nerve because, shout out to the guys from Greedy Intentions. We had him on the show late last year. And I used to be a reader in college and when I first got out, and I kind of put it down for a little bit, right? Like, life happens, you have to start working and doing
Right.
like adult stuff. And so I read their book, I crushed it, and it really made me start picking back up books again. And so I set a goal for 2022. I wanted to read 5 books, and we're just now into March, and I've already knocked out 3. And
Well, I'll
so
definitely pass
it's
them on when I remember the name. But yeah, really, really, really good books.
yeah, it's one of those things to where they spark the flame back up again and whatnot. And so somebody says they read, I can't help it. Like, okay, what books are you reading? I'm in between like 2 or 3 different ones right now, and I got 3 more I got to start. And so 5 will probably turn into 15 before the year's up.
And that's a good thing. A lot of people need to really, because this world is so full of distractions, and you want to do right by yourself, but you're just so distracted by social media and this and that. You really have to take time to turn everything off and really tune into God and in life in general and yourself to say, okay, some things need to change with me. I really need to have some me time to turn everything off, turn the world off and figure out who I really am. And it does take some quiet time.
We're talking about quiet time, and to me that means reflection. And since we're in Women's History Month, who are some of the big names that have been women names that have been influencers for you?
That's a good one. I've never been asked that question before. Obviously there's some celebrities that come to mind. I love Oprah Winfrey, and I know it sounds a little cliche, but I love her outlook on life because she's very big on meditation, and doing a lot of self-care. She's into spirituality, and there's a lot of podcasts that I've heard from her and some of the shows that she's done that she gives really good information, and some of the interviews that she's done. It strikes a nerve with me when I kind of watch some of those with some of the other celebrities out there that she interviews. That's one. There's a couple authors that I can't remember the name of, obviously. Look, memory is not one of my superpowers, so if you haven't figured that out yet, all right. But there's some really nice female authors that I can resonate with as well. I just can't think of the damn name right now.
What is your driver? What's your motivator to why you get up every morning and do what you do?
Love. Love is the main reason I am who I am and do what I do, because I love myself. I love the life that I'm given. I feel like it is a gift. Every day that I get up, I thank God for the gift that he's given me, because someone else has not been handed that gift. So be thankful for another day. As bad as that day may look to you, you just wake up and you need to claim your day and start it from a positive standpoint. And just being thankful is as positive as you can get. But what was the question again?
Why you get up every morning? Yeah,
Love.
That memory is something else.
I'm sitting here watching you smoke, and I'm hating. So it kind of distracted me. You keep puffing on the damn stick if you want to. I'm just saying. See, you ain't shit. But anyway, but yes, love. So I think about, I always ask people a question. And maybe I'm going to ask you a question since we're interviewing. So I always ask, because I want to see what's going on in their head. But I think about here's the question. What keeps you up at night? What consumes your thoughts to the point that sometimes you just can't sleep? Some people say your children, protecting my kids and raising them. To me, it's love. And knowing that the simple factor of love itself, the act of love, can change this whole world, can change this whole world, the way that God created it. Anyway, the way that love was initially defined. I believe that can change the whole world. So that keeps me up at night, because I'm like, man, it's so simple. It's so simple. It's so simple. But yeah, sometimes it keeps me up at night. So Mo, what keeps you up at night? Keep it classy now. I can't imagine what you finna say, but go ahead.
No, it's funny. In a nutshell, I'm working on something like, I guess from a quote unquote professional standpoint, I'm literally trying to go where no man in my bloodline has ever gone before. Like, I call it uncharted territory. So I'm a Pisces, right? Like, can't sit still. Brain's always going 1,000 miles an hour.
That's called ADHD.
No. No, it's not. I know somebody with ADHD. Trust me, it ain't. But like that's something like I'm genuinely like I am 1,000 miles an hour like tunnel vision on trying to make this thing happen in 2022. And so that's what keeps me up at night. I mean, obviously,
Okay.
like I'm not even necessarily doing it for myself, right? This is for when my little one is of a certain age and she says, "Daddy, I want to do this." I want to be in a position where I can say, "All right, cool. Whatever resources are needed, I want to make sure that she has access to those resources, right?"
Absolutely.
And so, if there's something that keeps me up at night, it is okay. What steps have I taken today towards this goal? What steps do I need to take tomorrow? What steps do I need to be working on 2 or 3 days from now? Like that's what probably keeps me up at night and keeps my wheels turning.
Nice. Okay.
For
Nick.
me, it's, and I've always thought this since I can remember, it is maximizing my full potential. Because if I'm the best version of myself, my daughters, they're straight, they're squared away. We're not worrying about anything, and not that we're worrying about anything now, but like knowing what's inside of me and having that best version of myself come out and delivering every day, executing every day, getting knocked down, getting back up again, and then, winning, and it's not a selfish thing, right? It's not that, oh, I want to, the glitz, the glamour, the limelight and all. I don't care about that. I'd rather be behind the scenes. Um, but when you're in that space, when you occupy that space and you're delivering consistently, you're somebody that people can count on. I've been very, very blessed and very fortunate to have some successes in my life. And I've been in situations where I've not been successful, right? And ultimately what it comes down to is not just working hard, but it's not showing up every day. It's, were you better than you were yesterday? And
Absolutely.
that's what truly is driving me right now. Shout out to Kevin Hart. He did an interview with uh Joe Rogan years ago, and it's always floating around, but it's like, listen, I'm not in competition with Seven, I'm not in competition with Mo, I am in competition with myself. And so right now, on the journey that I'm in right this very moment, I'm just trying to be better than I was yesterday,
That's
period.
right.
So if I can get, and I've always said this, if you're willing to take one extra step every day, you'll be miles ahead of everyone. And so that's what drives and motivates me.
That's right. You're absolutely right. And some people don't understand that step doesn't have to be a huge step. It can be a baby step as long as you're moving and you're not stagnant, standing in one place. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Now, full disclosure, like for like the
100%.
past like 3-4 weeks, it's really been like how am I gonna get Seven booked on this show? What do I got to do to make sure that she don't flip her calendar on us one more time? But now we got that knocked out, I can go back to my original goal of making sure that I get to uncharted territory and change the course of my bloodline. Just so
So
you know.
you ain't shit. So you ain't shit. On my schedule is back and forth because my clients, so I'm an IT developer, consultant, trainer, whatever it is, whatever part of the implementation process. So I'm usually in a different city every week, unless they push on me and reschedule, and that happens all the time. And then I have to shift, and then they give me another client. I'm like, oh, you're not going to San Diego, you're going here, or I'm working remote from home because of the pandemic. So it's just like I'm always like in limbo. So I appreciate y'all, specifically you, Mo, for putting up with my bullshit and being as flexible as you are.
Much appreciated. It's all good. So as we move the ball forward, right? This is the Vision Lab. When I say the word vision, what's the first thing that comes to mind?
That I need to make another appointment because I can't see shit. Because I went through this damn client today, and I swear when I was looking at that, that's the first thing that came to mind. You asked me what the first thing came to mind. I can't see shit right now. So I need to make another appointment. But as far as vision goes, so I think vision is, to me, the ultimate goal. Like, what do you see when you think about life itself? What do you see? And to me, it's you've got to have that ultimate goal. Now, if you don't have a vision, then obviously you need to get one, because you need to be able to see something going on in your life. All right, that's a dead/dry area that you need to cultivate and get something growing up in that bud, right? So yeah, vision for me is definitely goals, whether it's an ultimate goal or a small goal or a big goal, they're all goals at the end of the day. But you have to have some kind of vision, because if you're walking around blind and you can't see nothing, that's definitely a problem. It could be the root problem of why you are in the situation that you're in, if you're in a situation. And some people are blind to it, blind to being blind, like they don't understand, so it's there's a lot of levels to that.
So let me flip it and ask you this: what is your biggest fear? Excuse me. What's your biggest fear?
So my biggest fears are, this is not the answer that you want. My biggest fears are leprechauns, snakes, owls, and werewolves, not necessarily in that order. Now, when you're talking about life, don't do that, because you asked me a question. I gave you an answer.
What is it about? What is it about owls that could possibly scare you?
Owls freak me out because they're just very intense. It's like a staring competition. They can turn their head all around. I don't like the way they move. Like, it's just eerie to me. Like, there's an owl in the backyard. I'm like, that somebody do some of that motherfuckers. I can't like function. And all you can hear is, ooh, I'm like, bitch. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, so when it comes to fears, my biggest fears as a mother of two amazingly beautiful daughters, about to be 27, and the other's about to be this year 24, I think. My biggest fears is that because some people go through life and don't find happiness. And I'm not saying that they're naive to the life that they're given or being thankful or anything, but I just want them to be happy. And as a parent, you guys know that we're protectors, and in this world that we live in, there's so much that we have to protect them from. So my biggest fear, and I have to be a praying mother and wake up every morning and pray that God covers them and keeps them safe every single morning, because of the world we live in. It's a matter of seconds before, something can possibly happen. So my biggest fear is just keeping my children safe and knowing that they're living a life working towards their happiness. And I know I can't control that. Sometimes you got to back away. They're grown women, and allow them to make the decisions that they make, even though you know that they're not good decisions, and because it's part of their journey. And really trust that they know who God is and they have a relationship with God, and hopefully they make the best decision. And if they don't, and they have to learn a lesson through that, hopefully they learn that lesson and don't repeat it, and just keep themselves in a good place. It's so hard to be a parent these days. It really is. What you want, Mo?
Now, you gave like this beautiful answer, but I'm not going to let you slide when Cuff asked you what your biggest fear was, and the first thing out of your mouth was leprechauns. What do you have against short people? Let's get to the real root of the issue. I'm not letting that slide.
Okay, so what you ain't gonna do is make this about short people, because that's not what I said. I said leprechauns. I don't like their hands. Leprechauns. I don't like none of that.
When was the last time you listen?
When was the last time you encountered a leprechaun?
That's exactly what I was going to ask.
So what else you want to talk about?
Yeah, St. Patty's Day was a couple days ago, so hopefully you're okay.
There's pictures of leprechauns. There's movies you flip through TV like, it's a leprechaun. You have to keep it moving. I just don't like the just eerie to me. Leprechaun, snakes. I can look at a snake as long as it doesn't move. And no, werewolves can't do it. Hairy man, back hair, I can't do it. Like, I'll leave. Sorry.
Oh my goodness.
That is a very, very interesting list with owls and leprechauns and werewolves.
Werewolves and snakes.
So we know what we'll be getting you for Christmas.
Keep on. Don't play. Keep on.
Put an aganorsa in their mouth. How about that?
I wish. I wish.
Well, P, I think it's about time to land the plane. What do you think?
I would agree, sir. Yeah, it is time to land the plane. Seven, again, thank you so much for all of your time. This has been fun. Thank you so much for all of our exchanges over the phone the past few weeks. It's been great. Before we do land the plane, for those of you who are not familiar with Seven, can you please give them your social media handles, websites, any way they can contact you?
The only social media I have is Instagram, and that is 7_define, DEFINED.
Gotcha. So now landing the plane, there is a round table There are 5 seats at said table. You get to have 5 other people who join you, obviously. The only caveat is that you cannot have whatever religious deity you believe in. Outside of that, who are the 5 people you want at your table?
What I can't have what?
You can't have with the religious deity that you believe in.
Oh, okay.
God.
So 5 people. Okay, thank you, because I didn't know who that was. So the 5 people would be my 2 daughters. All right, am I one of the 5?
No.
Yeah, you get 5 other people. You're at the table, so it's a table of 6, and you get 5 seats.
Okay, thank you. So for doing the math, I appreciate that. So me, which is 1, my daughters, that makes 3. My best friend Cicely. Okay. I don't want my mama there. I don't want my daddy there. My mates, my significant other. What's that? 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 4. 5. That's 5. So I got 1 more seat.
Come on, IT, you get 1 more.
I'm gonna say my
Dead or
daddy so he can
alive?
pay the bill. I'm gonna say my daddy so he can pay the bill because we eating, right?
Yeah,
It's your table. You can do whatever you want to do.
So I'm gonna say my daddy. I'm a daddy's girl.
What is it about daddies and their daughters? Because obviously you're a daughter and we both have daughters. I have 2, he has 1. Talk to me about the dynamics or the relationship between a father and daughter.
For me, it was because I was very much a tomboy growing up. I grew up around nothing but a community full of boys. So I was always that one girl that was included in every sport, every, whether we're riding motorcycles or we're going to the pond or we're playing kickball or football or whatever. So I think the dynamics between my relationship with my dad is the way it is because I was that tomboy. My dad was into cars. He was in the military. So I kind of gravitated towards him because I liked the things he did. I liked that he worked on cars. He smoked cigars and pipes. He cooked. I mean, all the things that he did, my mom just kind of worked and did things in the house, but everything he did, I felt like I was a part of. So that's the bond that kind of, that's why we kind of bonded, I think. And now even for my love of cigars and fast cars, and it just kind of goes back to how that bond was created between me and my daddy.
Nothing
Me and
like
my
a
daddy.
dad. Yep, nothing like a daddy and his daughter.
That's right.
So,
That's right.
what is a long-term vision for one Miss 7?
I like to move in silence, sir. So I've got some things in the works, but I can't speak of it. Just know that I'm definitely looking to be a bigger part of the cigar culture. Period. Let me shut up.
Well,
Do we get an
little
invite?
people.
Say what?
Do we get
Don't
an
forget
invite?
One at a time. Oh, what you say, Cuz?
Don't forget about the little people.
There's no such thing as a little people unless you're a leprechaun. But what did you say, Mo?
So make sure that we're on the invite list. That's all.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. How do you know it's an invite list? I'm just saying. There's some I'm moving. I'm just trying to be me. You know what I'm saying? I got some things in the work. I got a vision. You know what I'm saying? Don't worry about what I got going on.
All right,
I'll let you see what I see when it's time.
We're excited for you. Can't wait to hear about it or see it. I have no doubt that you'll obviously execute and make that happen. Last question of the show. In case you didn't know, we have a magical time machine here in the lab. Okay. What would today's version of yourself of 7, what advice would you be giving yourself from 5 years ago?
From 5 years ago?
Mm-hmm. What advice would you tell yourself from 5 years ago?
So I'm giving advice to myself 5 years ago. I'm just making, okay. So if I knew then what I know now, 5 years ago, was just coming out of a relationship.
Or was it an entanglement?
No, it wasn't an entanglement. God damn. stay the course. I mean, and I did. I mean, that part of my life 5 years ago was very, very big for me, because that's when everything really started to solidify for me. I would say just stay the course, because I was in a good place 5 years ago. Now you talking about 10 years ago, that's different. I would have said, pay attention. And that life is nothing but a test. Life is nothing but tests and exams. Sometimes we fail, we got to take it again. We got to study a little harder this time. Pay attention to what you're being taught. Sometimes we don't pay attention to what we're being taught, and then we fail the exam. Well, why? Because we didn't pay attention to what we're being taught. Sometimes life is just paying attention to the lesson.
That's real good.
Yeah.
So we're going to make you a little bit older. We're going to make you 5 years older. What advice would the older version of 7, what advice would they be telling you today?
How am I supposed to know that? I don't know.
Got to have that vision.
Oh, well, I can't say you should have did that sooner, because I feel like I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be in my life. I don't know. Drink more water. I don't know. That's a hard one. What would my 5-year older self tell? I don't know, because I don't know. I have to think about that one.
The next time we talk, I want you to be able to answer that question.
Yeah, okay, Mo. I feel so threatened. Like, let me go write that down.
Immediately.
Listen, visionaries, we've been honored by hanging out with 7. I mean, we could probably do this for several hours, but obviously we want to be respectful of her time. Remember, visionaries, each one of our guests are dropping nuggets of wisdom here on the Trail of Life. Ultimately, my friends, it's up to you to pick them up.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Ryan Mosley. He is Ryan Cuffey. Thank you again to our guest 7 for being on the show. We will see you guys next week on another great episode of the Vision Lab podcast.
Blessings.